Hello everyone. If anything annoying happens in this video, it's because my big, stupid, dumb, annoying, round girlfriend is here.
Round?
Yeah. So, anyways,
What? Did you think I was gonna be in it or something?
I don't know, I can't tell. Oh, I guess there you are. Yeah, so what do I talk about?
I think you should talk about what your day was like today.
Oh.
And how it was good.
Yeah, today was really weird and exhausting in a good way.
What? I had a great day with you.
Yeah, well, I just did a lot today. And, yeah, figured out a pretty cool thing about, actually making cool stuff. Like, working on a new, business deal. And what I noticed is that I can just put attention in my body while I'm making the deal, while I'm, creating the container. And then every time I have, a weird feeling in my body, I just, listen to it. I'm like, oh, what feels weird about it now? And it's like, oh, well, I guess I'm feeling weird about this thing because I'm realizing that we don't have a way to quantify how much work I'm doing, and so we'll have a difficult time measuring it. Okay, then I put that in, and I was like, I still feel weird about it. Okay, well, I guess now what I'm concerned about is I'm concerned that we don't have standard operating procedures for if someone misses a meeting and then my deadlines don't change or whatever. I was like, okay, we'll change that. So that's been really cool. That's been a super powerful thing. Because for a long time, the hardest part about doing freelance work is not knowing how to set good containers and agreements with people and finding a good way to do compensation and all that. So that was pretty cool. I also taught my beautiful, sweet, kind girlfriend how to do shamatha meditation today. And how did that go?
It went well, but honestly, the only part I really remember is the really funny accidental joke you told. Get this, guys. Okay, so I don't know if y'all know what shamatha is, but it's a version of meditation where basically Gabriel's explaining that 2% of your attention should be on your breath, and the other...
Cinnamon. Is cinnamon outside? What was that noise?
I don't know.
Oh, maybe it was you pushing the mattress somewhere. I don't know. Never mind.
It's a ghost. Anyways, so 2% of your attention's on your breath. Whatever. The other 98% is on the vastness of your mind. Sorry,
bro,
my
laptop, bro.
What was my laptop?
What the fuck?
Sorry. It's not that big of a deal.
It's a huge deal. It's a multi-trillion dollar production going on over here.
It's facts, but you could just edit this out, right?
I'm not going to.
Okay.
I don't edit things right now.
That's valid. Okay, so I'm hoping you guys remember what shamatha is. And so Gabriel's trying to make
You never even told them what shamatha is.
Yes, I did almost. Yes,
okay,
I did.
Fine, you're right.
I did. Okay, so Gabriel's trying to make an analogy so I understand or whatever while he's explaining it. And he says, imagine you're hanging out with your friend and you're watching a sunset. So 2% of your attention is on the conversation with the friend, and the other 98% is on the sunset. And I was I was agog. I was aghast. Because, first of all, I just couldn't believe it. 98% of my attention is on the sunset, and 2% is on what my buddy is saying. That's literally crazy. And it's just funny because he was dead ass. And it explained a lot. Because sometimes I feel I'm talking to Gabriel and 2% of his attention's on the conversation.
Yeah, that's true.
So
but it's really because it's not like that. It's I got infinite attention on you. And then I have so much attention on you that I just see through you and you're the universe.
Oh wow, wait, that's so...
Yeah.
Dang, that's kind of
Alright guys, if you need more tips on how to not get into a fight,
yeah,
just leave some comments and pay me Like, I'll give me your Venmo. I'll give you my Venmo, and then you just pay me. I'll give you some tips on how to not get into a fight.
It might work.
Well, okay. Yeah, so that was pretty weird. And do you guys want to see? No, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck what you guys want to see. So let's see. What else did happen? Okay, well, we made a really horrible food, and I think it's time to have a grief ritual. Like, we need to, like, grieve how horrible the food was. Oh, yeah, I had a really weird therapy session today where I came to the session, I was like, oh, hey, I'm not doing anything in this therapy session today because I've already done too much this week. And so I was just sitting there, like, staring, and I was just, like, waiting. My therapist was so confused, like, what do we do? Like, I want to do something. And I just kept, like, sitting there, like, I didn't really know what to say. And we did that for, like, 15 minutes. And then eventually it ended up being really good. Partially because, like, the thing that I mentioned earlier about when I was writing up that, like, contract, where I can listen into my body in real time and be like, oh shit, so I'm feeling anxious that this is going to be a problem. So eventually, like, part way through, like, 15 minutes, and I started realizing, like, okay, what am I feeling? Something feels weird about this session. And then I ended up, like, feeling into it, like, okay, so one thing that feels weird is I feel like you want to help me, and, like, you feel like you have to, like, prove that you're doing something, and I think that's not the best way to show up. And then I also was like, she said at one point that, like, she felt like I was gonna judge her for the way she's showing up, and I said no. And it's partially true because, like, if you watch yesterday's video, you know that I was doing, like, a lot of shadow work, like, on my judgments yesterday or the day before. So I was like, yeah, no, I don't really feel like I'm judging you. But the truth is I was judging her, but it was like I saw that it was actually me not accepting a part of myself. So it was actually incorrect to say I wasn't judging her. And so, like, I felt tense in the entire conversation because I was like, not really being true to myself. Like, I knew that I was stepping around something because the truth is I was judging her. And so I was like, hey, yeah, so I think another thing I'm realizing in this is, like, I really was judging you for, like, wanting to show up and prove that you're doing something. And I apologize that I didn't address that. And then we had a kind of a conversation about like listening into your gut about, like, what you want to say, saying, like, the scary thing without it being like, there's, like, a few degrees of this, but it's like you can, on the one hand, just hold it to yourself and not say anything, just, like, brush over it. Then there's the thing where you just say the thing that's true, that seems true, or that basically can turn into being, like, just an unnecessary asshole. And then another part that can happen is, like, you are, like, too empathetic towards them, and you end up caretaking them by, like, not telling them the truth. So it's like, on the one hand, you're an asshole, just being a blunt asshole, and maybe it's not even really your actual truth that you're saying. Then the other thing is, like, feeling into them and not wanting to hurt their feelings, so then you don't say the thing. So there's kind of, like, this way of speaking your truth where you're being kind, but, like, you're being direct. And, trying to figure out, like, how do you be direct, say your actual truth that's scary, and know whether you're crossing the line into being abusive, but not collapsing into caretaking either. So there's kind of, like, a new wave being that starts coming out, which I haven't figured out. And then through that, I ended up feeling, like, all this constriction in my body. And I realized, like, it was all just like bracing against grief. And what the constriction would typically lead me to do is to be subtly inauthentic, to go in my head and intellectualize, to judge, to put myself above, to make myself feel superior, to feel good about myself. But it hurt too bad to hold on, to push against the grief like that. So it's like I was caught between a rock and a hard place. Whereas like on the one hand, it's like really scary to feel this grief, but it's even worse to resist it by doing all these things. And then I ended up getting into this recursive loop process of clearing my system out, where like I was just like going through this spiral of like seeing things that I usually would resist in a certain way, but the resistance is too painful, so I don't resist it and I go into grief. And then I feel good about myself, congratulate myself, and then realize that like that's another form of my ego coming in to make me not feel stuff. So then like all these escape hatches I had just kept closing and closing and closing, and it was so weird and destabilizing in a way. So that was pretty cool. That was like, yeah, pretty cool. And I feel like in this video, I'm kind of going through that too, where it's like I feel a tension in my body, and what is that? The tension in my body is I'm definitely managing the way I'm showing up, the way that I look, the way that I'm talking, in like a new subtle kind of way that doesn't feel super good. And I want to have like a level of flow and coherence and stuff, but I don't want to manage it. I don't want to be super rigid. I want to actually be connected to myself. But there's a way where I can force myself to be authentic, and that's not real authenticity. And that's what I find myself doing. All right, well, I am getting bored of talking, and I don't really feel like making another iteration for this video. So that's going to do it. And I guess we had an iteration where I had someone else in the video, so that I guess counts as an iteration. Kind of weird that I'm like just trying to get iterations in without really thinking if they're good iterations. That's something to think about. All right, well, that's it. Thanks.